Good morning, outdoor artist. At the beginning of an excavation project we have going here at our house and in the woods. And we're using a Bobcat, I believe it's an E20, yes, E20 excavator. It's a small excavator, diesel. I believe it's in the low 20 horsepower category, so it's not a big excavator, but for the kind of ditches that we're digging, it should be fine. Now the first series that you see here coming off the house and then out toward the water feature are going to be electrical lines, so they need to be to code in this area. I believe it's 24 inches. We'll have to dig those down. At the end you see two post holes that I've gotten started, and those will be posts to anchor an electrical panel for the plugs that'll then support the water feature, so that'll get done probably second, actually. The coming down the side, there'll be a small section here with some downspout drain that'll tie into an existing French drain and downspout drain that we've got going through the back of the yard. And beyond this, in the back part of the property here, just in the start of it, you'll see we've got some lines marked out here, and on this side there are 3 lines that come down from various points to this junction, which is a downspout, or excuse me, a 4-inch drain line under the road or the path. And then on this side there'll be another drain line going under the path, and this is just general drainage. We have intermittent springs throughout this hillside and need to get that cleaned up. So the one that goes up in between the trees, the longer one, there's a small water feature up in there that I'll expand a little bit and just get that ditch cleaned out and installed with a perforated line, so that can get better drainage and we don't have so much water down through here. It's gotten so wet that we can't get a mower even through here. So depending on the year, sometimes it's very wet, other times not bad, but you'll see this year's one of those years where it's very wet. So that's the intention, get those areas cleaned up. And I'm going to actually start out here just so I get my sea legs with this excavator. It's been a few years since I ran one, and I want to make sure I have all the basics down before I get in too close to the house and goof something up. So I'll be trying to film a little bit along the way. I'm not going to do a continuous feed of every single bucket I grab, but I'll do some updates along the way to show you progress. After about an hour and a half of digging, got these ditches roughed in. This is a drainage ditch that'll have perforated drain line in it, 4-inch. This is another one that comes up. I haven't completed that center section yet, but that's the one that drained that, or drains, excuse me, that small water feature up above, and you can see there was a lot of water coming out of that when I popped the cork up there. That was quite a gusher, so I'm going to let that dry out just a little bit, but I'll have to come back up in there and redo some of that because that's a little bit messy. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is these tree roots. This particular tree root obviously is from that tree, so it's not going to like that much, but even where there are old trees, like here where there's a Japanese umbrella pine growing on top of this mound we created. The mound actually, you can see, used to be 2 tree stumps, and roots from those last a long time. And so when you get trying to dig a tree root like that one there right in front of me, it doesn't go well. The excavator just doesn't have enough power to lift that out of there, so I'll have to chop that out of there and then, you know, dig the dirt out as best I can with the bucket. See how that goes. So more to do, obviously, and so far I'd say it's going reasonably well. I have almost decided, not quite decided, but I almost have decided to abandon this, digging this line, because it's not that much of an issue water-wise in the spring. There's a few weeks where it's a little damp, so I may just say to heck with that one. One of the reasons being, you can see what kind of a mess this creates digging the ditch, and so I'm trying to keep my mess to a minimum if I can. So I may just say, see how it goes without that one. Okay, I'll be back. Outdoor Artist here, and bringing to a close day 2 and the excavator project for our ditches. And I don't know if you remember, but at the start of the project I showed you some nice straight lines going out toward the water feature. This looks like the work of some kind of intoxicated ferret. it ran into some issues which are called tree roots. And let me tell you, these roots, when they get to the size of a baseball bat or even some of the smaller ones, are really tough to get through. So that's my excuse. I had to, this line actually went in, or this ditch I should say, actually went in straight. I had to completely abandon that route because, or that route, because of a root in the way. So I came over at an angle. I hope the electrician doesn't mind. And we make our way. Now that ditch obviously needs to be cleaned up before the electrician can lay the conduit, but it's pretty well loosened up now, and I can just clean that up with a shovel. The Bobcat performed fine once we got its tracks put back on. The E20 is a nice little machine. I'd recommend it. And Sunbelt Rental did a great job of quickly responding to the issue and getting it fixed. This unit is very capable and adaptable to the situation. And the horsepower, while it's not huge, it was enough to get the job done with a little cajoling. I had to get down in there with an axe and do some chopping. Now you do see some French drain pipes sticking up. Don't be alarmed. Those that was intentional. I knew we're going to have to breach that line somewhere to get the conduit through. Then once we get the conduit laid, we'll repair that damage and get that patch back up. That's not that difficult to do. The line that I was going to do from this downspout to come out, I'm going to do that by hand, just because based on what I see here and what I got into, I'm not going to attempt that with the backhoe. I'm just going to declare victory here, get this unit out to the front, give it a bath with a pressure washer, and call it a day. This is Outdoor Artist.